I swear, bro, I'm like the only one online. I see all of these Instagram comments, every YouTube comment, everyone's like, oh, new S1000, oh, it looks so cool, I want it so bad. To me, it just looks like, ugh, it's just so bad. What are we doing with these winglets, bro? Am I just getting old? Am I not understanding this whole entire winglet craze? I don't get it, bro. I heard rumors that BMW was gonna do these like retractable wings, and like, sure, that's like more electronics to break, but it would have been nice to at least be able to park the bike without having to worry about these giant 5-inch winglets coming out of the side of the bike that are just like, ugh. Every bike manufacturer that's doing this right now, Yamaha with the R1, they're saying it's for practicality on the track. When you're going over 160 miles an hour, it gives you like 30 pounds of down. Who cares, bro? It doesn't matter. It's ruining the aesthetics of modern sport bikes. I can't stand it, bro. I think it's so dumb. I'm so happy that Ducati with the new V2, they're not having any winglets on it. Thank God. It's 120 horsepower. It does not need winglets, and they didn't add winglets, and I'm like forever grateful. Thank you. I ordered one, it's on its way. I'm like, okay, cool. Can we get back to like modern sport bikes not having any winglets? It's just completely ruining the design. Or at least like add manufacturer like wing deletes, you know what I mean? Like from the factory, make it like a factory option. You can suck more money out of the consumer, like $400 or $500 to delete wings off of a bike. Make it a thing, please. Luckily, as of recording this video, it is still 2024. That means 2024 BMWs are still for sale. I have gone on record saying I did not enjoy my BMW S1000 buying experience whatsoever. I bought a 2023 BMW S1000. I owned that bike for a little over a year, and I sold it just recently. Now, the reason I felt like I had to sell my S1000 is because I had that bike tuned by the motorcycle dealer that I bought it from. And the dealer that I had bought my S1000 from, I very quickly after buying that bike had a very bad relationship with that dealership. I had electronic gremlins constantly going around with that bike. I had the water pump blow up about halfway into the summer, and it took them over a month and a half to fix, which I deemed, in my personal opinion, pretty unacceptable for a BMW dealership. All of these issues were covered under warranty, which is good. They were not signs of abuse on the bike. I took very good care of that motorcycle. A little excessive. I would change oil on that bike every 1,000 to 1,500 miles. I made sure that bike was extremely well taken care of, and yet things were still going wrong on that bike, which is fine. You know, it's not every motorcycle is expected to be perfect out of the box. That's what a warranty is for. But I was just extremely frustrated with the fact that this BMW dealership only had one mechanic working at the BMW dealer, and so there were a lot of BMW motorcycles that would break and come into that shop, and they would just sit there and sit while the one mechanic there was working to fix it. When my bike breaks in the middle of summer, I want it, if it breaks, it's fine, but I want it to be fixed in an efficient and timely manner, and it just wasn't. So I was like, okay, cool. So I made some videos talking about how, oh, don't buy an S1000, they're bad. And I think I kind of messed up my verbiage, my dialogue there, because the BMW S1000, it's not a bad bike. It's actually very good. BMW makes good bikes. They just happen to break a lot. Pretty much everybody I know who has an S1000 has had some sort of major mechanical failure. Pretty much everybody I know around my area, at least here in Cleveland, has gone through a water pump or two. My good friend High Speed Hayden out in California just recently blew out second gear on his S1000. He has two neutrals. He does not have a working second gear on his S1000. It's crazy. Those brakes just break constantly. All right, we're going around this. I don't want to sit in this. Perks of riding a motorcycle, huh? Yeah, that's so stupid, bro. Imagine having to sit in all that traffic. So Matthew, why are you talking so much about S1000s today? You seem to be very passionate about the BMW subject. Well, that's because I might be, we might be going to look at some S1000s, some late model year S1000RRs that are just kind of sitting there collecting dust, possibly over the entirety of winter. I'm just curious because I really hate the look of the new 2025 S1000s like I was just talking about. So I kind of want to go to this dealer and just kind of scope out like how desperate they are to get rid of these bikes. If I could scope out a really fantastic deal on a premium package S1000 2024 with like the forged wheels, the whole 9 yards, because I do like riding that bike. It's a lot of fun, and if I could buy one for a really good deal, it would be great. but I just don't feel like spending over 20 grand on one. I've said in the past, you can buy pretty much a ZX-10 with heated grips, and it's pretty much the exact same bike as an S1000. The ZX-10, the way the fueling works is it's very on and off. Like, it's very, they're a little difficult to wheelie. There are people who are much more skilled than me, like ZX-10 Mez, who can wheelie their ZX-10s no problem, but he's also had a ton of top-end work done to his bike to make it smoother. I just don't know, man. That's why I would love to check out another S1000, but I just don't feel like spending all that money on it. So that's what, it's just an education. It's just an education. Here we are, BMW of Cleveland. This is a very far away dealer from me, so that's why I'm not terribly enthused from buying from these guys either. I have very limited experience with working with these guys, and I don't know. That's just kind of why we're here today. I just kind of want to scope out, kind of gauge what these guys are like, what's the dealer like, because like I've said in the past, when you buy from a BMW dealer, it's very essential to educate yourself on the dealer you're buying from, because your relationship with them is going to be very important when the bike breaks over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So right now it looks like their website was correct. They currently have 2 of them. I was just talking with the lovely salesman right here. He was telling me that they have an S1000 in the back right now, and they have this one right here, which is pretty identical to the one that I just sold. This one, of course, has a M billet pack, so has pretty much all the same exact options that my bike had. It has the forged wheels, has like the sport premium package with like the little titanium piece exhaust and like the heated grips, all the power modes, all that stuff. The only difference is this bike is there's not really any differences. It's pretty much identical to the one that I just sold, and it's pretty hard to sell a bike and then hop right back into one that is pretty much the exact same thing. But this would be for me at least, this would be a fresh start on an S1000 compared to the one that I just sold, which was very far gone. I don't hate it. I think it's a phenomenal looking bike, and it's just very unfortunate to me that I'm not into the 2025 look at all. The 2025 would probably be a better like flex bike. That's like the social media. It would get more attention, but again, like I've said, social media, like, I don't like buying bikes for social media. I like buying bikes for myself. I like to enjoy a ride first and foremost, and that's why I'm just not into the new 2025s. $24,165, and their only incentive is they have $1,000 off of MSRP, so bring it down to like 23, and that's like another 2,600 if you finance. So, and I mean, if you finance, that it pretty much brings the cost of the bike anyway, so it just doesn't make any sense. You're still paying $23,000 for a bike, an S1000, and I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know if I can justify financing another, or financing period, a motorcycle. I love motorcycles, but if you can't pay cash for a motorcycle, you likely shouldn't buy it. I do like these little levers that they have on them, though. These are nice. I would call that urge successfully fought. The sales guy was pretty chill, I would say, although it's really hard to gauge a dealership based off of one interaction. Obviously, if I were to actually buy that bike, I would want to check out like the back room, be like, hey, what's the service like what's the turnaround rate? I would, of course, have a lot more questions to annoy that guy with rather than the ones I just asked today. I'm not rushing out to buy the bike. I'm like, I have the money for it, I'm willing to pay. I have a certain price in my head that he doesn't know that I'm willing to pay for that bike. So I told him, I'm like, hey, if BMW offers any more cash incentives, call me, email me, whatever. Let me know. I would love to hear from it. If the bike sells, then it sells. No big deal. It's literally snowing tomorrow. I skipped class to go ride today. It's so stupid, isn't it? I skipped one class, alright? I skipped French. I'm sorry, Mom, if you're saying this. Literally, it's the last, like, warm day. It has to be. I know I've said that in so many videos now, but it's, like, literally has to be the last warm day. And I was like, okay, I went to my first 2 very important classes that I can't miss because there's a lot of valuable information there. But French, I can Google, bro. I can Google that. It's fine. So I went to go look at motorcycles so I could buy more. We can spend more money and buy more bikes. And if I can snag up a cool deal on a 2024 BMW S1K, I'm a happy little guy, alright? I like that bike. I like the BMWs. If you can get them for a good deal. They ain't worth 24 grand, but if you can get them for like 18, 19, that's a good deal. Wow, that looks dark. You guys ever see like the biker live streams on TikTok, bro? It's so weird and oddly sensual. I don't want to say it, but they're just so freaking weird, bro. I'm so tired of it. I swear to God, 99% of these people are older, and they're freaking weird, bro. I don't know. I feel like I'm the only fucking normal one these days. And people still tag me in comments of people being like, oh, all he posts is shirtless content. Does this look fucking shirtless to you? I don't know. It looks like I'm riding the bike. To me, it looks like I'm fucking riding, dude. Well, boys, I wanted to end today's video here because this might be literally the last point unless I record a video, at least in Ohio, in 2024. Next month, I'm going to California right after the semester ends, and that's going to be it. I'm, of course, going to be filming and riding in California, but as far as Ohio goes, this is it for 2024. It's sad that we're ending this by ourselves here. I wish I had some of my friends here with me, but this was, it was a pleasure filming with all of you guys and talking with you this year. I know we really kicked it into gear with YouTube this year towards the end of the year. I've been filming constantly non-stop, and I thank you guys for sticking with me through this video and through the channel and through these months, and hopefully throughout the rest of the year. This was fun, and I very much am looking forward to hopping back onto next year, riding around the great city of Cleveland and Ohio. This is always one of my favorite places to come because it reminds me so much of California, honestly. Overlook this giant mountain like this. It's so cool. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. Peace.